Okay, the part that we're going to be looking at today is going to be 4.2. 4.2 is an operating arm and it's found on page 105 in your book. So I'm going to open up our book and you'll notice it's right down here. Now, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be starting at the very bottom of the part. We're going to be sketching on the top plane. So we're going to look straight down on this so that this is the front of our part. And our origin is going to be set at the bottom of this boss at the center. So we're going to first create this boss by extruding it up 1.75. Then we're going to be creating this hole going all the way through as a through hole. Then the key going all the way through as a through key. Then this extruded arm over here. And then the slot. Okay, so that's going to be the process that we take for this particular part. So I am going to minimize this, minimize that, and now I have my Creo open to a fresh session. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select my working directory. Always need to do this before we do anything else. So I'm going to click here. I'm on my H drive. You can have your working directory wherever it needs to be. It's going to be Creo 1. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the operating arm that I already created so we can see what our final product is going to be. And here it is. Okay, so we are going to be creating this part right here. So I am going to be starting fresh by saying new part, and it's going to be operating arm. And I'm going to do _3. Okay. No, I'm going to have to take a drink here and there. I'm getting over a cold and I still have that little lingering cough. As I talk, sometimes I get that little tickle. So I'm going to maybe pause once in a while to maybe help that a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to extrude. So I'm going to hit the extrude. I'm not going to do sketch. I'm going to hit extrude because I know that I'm going to be extruding this boss and I need to place it. So I'm going to hit placement, define, and I'm going to be on my top plane. So I'm just hovering over to be sure that this is my top plane. I'm going to click there and I'm going to say I'm going to sketch on that because I have to sketch before I extrude. Then I'm going to click on my sketch view and I'm going to zoom in, okay? And I'm a bunch of times. Otherwise, my circle is going to be super small on the screen. So I'm going to click at that center, left click, middle mouse button to end it. 1.59. I'm going to double click. This needs to be 2.5. Okay, perfect. Now, that's all that I need to do for this first boss. So I'm going to click Feature Requirements. That's going to let me know if I'm fully constrained in order to do my extrude. And I am. I've got 2 green check marks. So I'm going to hit Close and OK. And now I'm going to use my roller, my middle mouse button, and I'm just going to move this around to kind of see what's going on. So my top plane is back here and I'm extruding above, which is the direction that I want to go in. So that's good. Now I can change this depth of, or this length of 2.5 inches in one of 2 places. I can do it here by double clicking it. Okay. And I can put 1.75 in here, or I can actually do it right up here. Okay, either place. But once it's where I need it to be, it looks good. I'm going to hit OK. Now I'm going to add in my through hole. And my through hole, I'm going to start on this top plane that I just created, or this top surface. So I'm going to click that and I'm going to say I'm going to extrude off of that surface. I'm going to hit my sketch view so I can see it straight on. And I'm simply going to draw a circle, click, and not really click, but kind of snap to that center when I get close on that origin. Left mouse button, middle mouse button. And now this is going to be 1.25. Okay. And now I'm just going to check. Notice that it's on the surface here, and I'm going to extrude this going all the way through. I'm going to check to make sure I'm ready. 2 green check marks. I'm good to go. And I'm going to hit OK. Now it's going to start out and it's going to think I want to add another boss going in the opposite direction, but I don't. So you'll notice that there's a purple arrow here. And if I toggle on that, it's going to go in and it's going to say, oh, you probably want to remove material. And I do. But it's removing it to a depth. And instead, I want to actually change this to the 4th one down, which is extrude to intersect with all surfaces. This ensures that this is going to be a through hole no matter what the depth is or the height of that boss if it's ever changed. Now I can hit OK. Now I'm going to put my key in. So I'm going to select that top surface again. That's green here, and I'm going to extrude my key. So I need to go on my sketch view here so I see it straight on. I'm going to zoom in, and I am going to first project. And what the project allows me to do is to use a feature in my sketch that isn't necessarily part of my original sketch, if you would. So I'm going to project because I want to use a portion of this circle. Okay, and I'm going to do both parts of it. I'm going to do the full circle. I'm going to hit close. Then I'm going to draw my lines, and I'm going to overlap here generously for my keyway. And then I middle mouse buttoned twice. Okay, trying to get out of there. Now what I'm going to do is the only part of the circle that I want are these 2 sections right between. Okay. So I am going to delete the segments that I don't want. I'm going to delete this segment, this one, and then the 2 overhangs that I created. So that I'm left with this chunk right here, which is an enclosed section. Okay, so I need something to be enclosed. I couldn't leave this open here for my keyway, otherwise it wouldn't actually create it. Okay, it would give me errors. So I have to have it enclosed, and I need to grab a part of that circle in order to do it. So this is what I want. So I'm going to double click on the width there of 0.25. I'm going to put this out, and then I'm going to add a dimension for the top to the center, in the middle here, 0.125. Great. And then I need a dimension from the bottom of my part here. So you'll notice that there's a little point that's created, okay, when I get close there. So I'm going to dimension from that little intersection there at the bottom of my, or I should say on the left side of that circle, to the top of my key way. And then I'm going to middle mouse button down here, and that dimension is 1.363. There we go. Okay. Now, I should have everything in place. Feature requirements, I've got 2 check marks. Again, if you didn't delete all the parts that you're not using, that's usually the reason that you're not going to have 2 green check marks. But I do, so I am okay. Now, this is also going to assume I'm going to go on the outside, switch that direction. Okay, but I want this to go all the way through and intersect all surfaces. So when I do that, all the way through. Okay, so again, if I change that depth from 1.75 to something else, the key and the hole are both going to go through all the time. Okay, so now let's look on my, I want to now create that extended portion of the arm out to the right. So I am going to extrude, but I'm going to place this, I'm going to go back to my top view. So I need to be on, I believe this is the plane, the top plane. Yep, click on that, sketch, and I want to do my sketch view here. And I'm just going to zoom out a little bit, and I'm going to draw a circle to the right here, about that size. I don't want it to be equal to the other one. I do want it to be 2 inches. And then I'm going to get everything in place here. There's my 2 inches. Now, my distance between these 2, if we look back at our sketch, to the outsides of the radiuses, it's 6 inches. So that means from center to center, from here to here, is going to be 6 minus 1, which is 5, and then 5 minus 1 1/4, which is 3.75. So that distance between these is going to be 3.75 inches. Okay. Now, I need to, for this arm to be extruded, but I need this portion of that radius. So I'm going to project again this radius, that radius for that circle, close it. Excuse me. And I'm going to draw a line from the top quadrant, horizontal. No, I want to be horizontal. What's it doing here? Try that again. Line from here, horizontal. There we go. And overlap it, okay, generously. And then I middle mouse button twice. Then I'm going to do another, get close to that quadrant, and horizontal line, overlap, left mouse button, middle mouse button, middle mouse button. Okay. Now, what I need to do is I need to delete the segments I do not need. So I'm going to delete segment here. I'm going to go here, here, here. And what's kind of nice is as you drag here, it's quite efficient. All right, so I'm left with this portion of the arc, the line. Oh, this inside I need to get rid of, so I'm still in that command, so I can get rid of these two sections. And now I have kind of that, like, I don't know, I'll call it a peninsula that's left over, okay? And now if I check my feature requirements, I'm ready to go. Again, if you have any red or yellow there, make sure that you have all of the portions deleted of the projection that you don't need. Okay, now I'm going to hit OK. And it's going to assume that I want to extrude this 3 inches up, which I don't. I just want to extrude it 1 inch up. And I can hit OK here. The last part is to put my slot in. So I'm going to use this surface. I'm going to extrude off of that surface. And I'm going to sketch plane here. Now, I'm going to draw a circle over at the center of this radius. Now, I am not clicking on this radius yet, or at all. I'm just activating it. It's going to be green. And then I'm going to click, or I'm going to snap when I get to, and left click when I get to that center. Now, if I don't do that, it's going to just kind of randomly go in there. Here. So make sure that you activate that center by just hovering over it before you click it. And now I need this diameter to be 0.75. Then I'm going to draw another circle along this center line here to the left of it. Just going to click randomly. Now, when I get to the point where these two circles are the same size, you're going to notice an equal sign and the other circle is going to turn green. I want that because I need these to be equal. And I'm going to left click when I get there, and then middle mouse button. And now the last thing I want to do is add a dimension between these two. Center line to center line, middle mouse button out here, 1.75. Okay, so the positions are good. Now I just need to create the top lines on either one of those quadrants. So line, left mouse button, on the quadrant, left mouse button on the quadrant, middle mouse button once and then twice. And then delete the segments that I don't want. And here. There we go. So now you'll notice I have my sketch on that surface. Feature requirements. I've got 2 green check marks. I'm good. Okay. And I actually want to change that direction, so I'm going to toggle. But I want this to go through surfaces, not to a depth. I want it to always be through whatever thickness that's going to be. So I'm going to hit OK. All right, so that is, let me see, let me kind of get this in place here. There we go. And I'm going to try to position this so I can really kind of see that things are as they should be. And I think that's pretty good. Now, to capture this image, I want to make sure that I capture the model in the screen, but then also my model tree. So when I do my Windows Shift S for the snag function, I'm going to go in my upper left-hand corner here, make sure that my model tree is in as well as my model. And then I'm going to release when I get that portion. Now I have on my clipboard my image so that I can paste it into a document that I then can upload to the Dropbox. Okay, so if you have any additional questions, hopefully this demonstration helped you with the operating arm 4.2.